Things are heating up in Baltimore, and right at the center of it all is Zach Orr. The Ravens' defense, once a source of pride and identity, is falling apart. And now everyone's asking the same question. Is the problem the players or the coordinator? With the team sinking and criticism growing louder every week, Orr's job might be hanging by a thread. But what's really going on inside the Ravens' locker room? Does John Harbaugh still trust him? And could the presence of veterans like Chuck Pagano and Dean Pease change the entire direction of the season? Everything points to something big brewing in Baltimore, and it might just be the end of the line for Zach Orr. No one expected to see the Ravens' defense like this. A team known for toughness, intensity, and pride on the defensive side of the ball suddenly looks lost. That 1-4 start shocked everyone. But the scary part is that the problems began long before the injuries hit. Even with their starters on the field, this unit hasn't been able to stop anyone. And in Baltimore, a city built on defense, that's almost unthinkable. Zach Orr, the former linebacker turned coordinator, now stands in the middle of the storm, in his second year calling plays. He still hasn't found a formula to fix the system or build the consistency fans expected. The Ravens' defense ranks among the league's worst in points allowed and takeaways, numbers that simply don't fit the franchise's legacy. It's a painful contrast to standards set by legends like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Terrell Suggs. And the most worrying part? The players' confidence is fading. When a defense loses belief, everything crumbles. Missed tackles, broken communication, blown coverages, things that just don't happen in Baltimore. The atmosphere gets heavier each week, and every game feels like a test of survival. Or, once seen as a young, promising mind with modern defensive ideas, now faces the toughest challenge of his career, proving he's ready for this job. The noise around him isn't slowing down. Some fans think he was promoted too early. Others believe the problem runs deeper, that leadership itself is missing inside the locker room. But one thing's for sure, patience is running out, and time to fix things is disappearing fast. Now, Orr himself is trying to show he's still in control, and what he said recently reveals exactly how he's handling the storm around him. Zach Orr could easily be falling apart under the weight of all this pressure. Few people could handle what he's facing right now. But somehow, he's staying calm, calmer than anyone expected. During his latest press conference, Orr spoke with composure, saying he's not letting the outside noise get to him. He admitted that maybe a year ago, all of this would have shaken him up. But now, he's in a different place, more mature, more grounded, and more focused. He explained that he's learned to deal with criticism differently, and a lot of that comes from his faith. It's all in God's hands, he said, showing a confidence that goes way beyond football. For him, it's about taking things one day at a time, showing up, working hard, and controlling only what he can. That mindset is rare for someone his age in such a demanding position, and it shows how much he's grown since year one as defensive coordinator. Orr also said something that stood out. He's completely off social media. He doesn't read comments, tweets, or articles about himself. He called that stuff poison for your mind and heart. Instead, he's putting all his focus on the job, the players, the film, the game plan. Over time, he's learned that the real key is blocking out distractions and staying focused on what actually matters, not on what people are saying about him. That kind of attitude shows a side of Orr that's easy to overlook. Behind the criticism and the stats, there's a man trying to learn, to grow, and to hold himself together in one of the toughest jobs in football. He knows the pressure is massive, but he also knows the only way to silence the noise is with results on the field. And that's where the situation gets even trickier, because two of the biggest names in Ravens history are right there beside him, watching closely. With the team piling up losses and the defense becoming a weekly frustration, it was only a matter of time before rumors started flying. Fans and media are already talking about a possible coaching change, and Zach Orr's name is at the center of every conversation. What makes things even more complicated is that John Harbaugh's staff includes two experienced, highly respected former Ravens defensive coordinators, Dean Pease, now working as a consultant, and Chuck Pagano, serving as senior defensive assistant and secondary coach. Those two names carry serious weight in Baltimore's history. Pease masterminded some dominant defenses in the 2010s, and Pagano is remembered for his leadership and how he made players believe. Their presence at the facility casts an unavoidable shadow over Orr, who's still trying to build his reputation. Many believe that if things don't improve soon, Harbaugh could be forced to make a move to save the season. Still, Harbaugh has made it clear. He's standing by his young coordinator. He praised Pagano's involvement in meetings, his constant communication on the headset during games, and his influence in building the defense week to week. Harbaugh says it's a collaborative environment, and that unity will help them turn things around. But to the outside world, it doesn't quite look that way. To most people, it feels like Orr is leaning heavily on the experience around him. That mix of outside pressure and internal scrutiny makes this situation one of the most delicate of Harbaugh's entire tenure. Orr needs results now. He knows he has two defensive heavyweights beside him who could easily step in if things get worse. Every game from here on out could determine not only the direction of the defense, but the direction of his entire career. And in that high-stakes atmosphere, one question keeps coming back. How do you reignite a defense that's lost its soul?
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Orr knows bad stats don't tell the whole story, but he also knows you can't ignore them. The Ravens are giving up more than 35 points per game, and that's just not acceptable in Baltimore. That's why he's been hammering one simple message. The defense has to play with energy, with pride, with that signature swag that used to define this franchise. You can hear it in his voice. He misses that fire, that spark, that heartbeat that used to pulse through the entire unit. During his presser, Orr said he wants to see the defense start fast and set the tone from the first drive. That's the real Ravens standard, a defense that dictates the game instead of reacting to it. He admits his guys are working hard, but he feels there's something missing. The attitude, the confidence, the hunger. That's what he's trying to bring back, especially now with the Chargers' high-powered offense coming to town. But when Orr talks about bringing back the swag, it's about more than just football. It's about restoring pride. For years, the Ravens were feared, aggressive, physical, relentless. Watching this defense look flat and lifeless hurts everyone in the building. Orr wants that edge back. He wants to see that look in his players' eyes again, the one that says, "We're not backing down from anyone." To help with that, he's simplifying the scheme, letting his players react more freely, and trusting their instincts. It's a massive challenge, but Orr believes it starts with mindset. The defense needs a spark, something to bring back belief and joy in competing. But energy alone isn't enough. The team's been dealing with a wave of injuries, losing several key starters, and that's created an even bigger hurdle for this unit to overcome. When the Ravens lost to the Texans, they were missing 4 defensive starters, including 3 All-Pros, the core of their system. Still, Zach Orr made one thing clear. That's not an excuse. He said it straight. It doesn't matter who's on the field. The standard must stay the same. To him, wearing the Ravens logo means taking the field, ready to stop anyone, anytime. And if they fail, they should be angry and fix it, not accept it. That mindset says a lot about the culture he's trying to preserve. Baltimore has always been a next-man-up team, where no one hides behind injuries or bad luck, or reminds his players every day that they have to be ready, no matter what. It's a tough standard, but it's the one that built this franchise's identity. Of course, losing key leaders takes a toll. Without those voices on the field, communication suffers, and in-game adjustments get harder. Orr knows that, but he refuses to use it as a crutch. He keeps saying the issue isn't physical, it's mental. Once the mindset shifts, the performance will follow. It's his way of holding everyone accountable, while also pushing them to respond with pride. Now, it's all about turning words into action. The patience is gone, the stats are ugly, and the pressure has never been higher. Orr needs this defense to respond, not just to silence the critics, but to prove that there's still time to save the season. For a franchise built on pride and intensity, this might be their last chance to remember who they really are. Zach Orr's future in Baltimore has never looked more uncertain. The defense that once embodied everything the Ravens stood for is now in one of its darkest stretches, and the clock is ticking fast. Orr is trying to hold on to his faith, his focus, and his belief that things can still turn around. But the pressure is closing in from every direction. Fans, media, even inside the building. Now the question is simple but brutal. Will John Harbaugh keep betting on his young coordinator? Or will a major shakeup be the only way to save the season? Do you think Zach Orr can still pull this off and win back the respect of Baltimore's defense? Or is it already too late? One thing's for sure. Time is running out, and every game from now on could decide his fate with the Ravens.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.